junior who's now damn near my senior in history. This is Lost Tribes, the Promised Land. This is damn near the only thing I need to say, and it don't take a minute. In this book called Lost Tribes, the Promised Land, for those that don't know, it's a very good book to get, pretty expensive now.
We got that book.
Now, you should not mention that you have this book.
You should have read this page.
This book body bagged himself right here. So now in this book, you had this devil, Montezinos, that was observing the natives of the land. Not just in Native America, but in South America and the Taino lands, etc. And as he's observing them, he's saying, man, these look like the lost tribes. So he goes and meets them. And so I'm going to read page 364. There's a bunch of other pages I could reference, but I don't want to take CHAATAZA's time. So I'm going to read this point. It says, and the woman got off and spoke to Francisco in an Indian tongue that Montezinos could not understand, although he could perceive that he was being identified in the conversation. She then turned to her male companions to explain the situation, and upon hearing her words, they rose, went over to Montezinos, and to his utter astonishment, they spoke Moroccan. No, hell no. To the utter astonishment, they said, Shema Yasha'Allah Yahweh Allahaya Nawa Yahweh Akkad, which being translated means, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. They have recited in Hebrew the fundamental credo of what they call it Judaism. A brief conversation ensued in their common ancestral tongue, according to Montezinos. They told him that they were of themselves of the tribe of Reuben. Very specific. Not like these guys where they want the Berbers, the damn Akhenaten and all of them to be Moors. He said they themselves was of the tribe of Reuben, and that the tribe of Joseph lived on an island nearby. That's right. Body bag.
Well,
you got the floor.
The tribe of Joseph, you understand, and the islands nearby. What would the islands nearby be? That would be the Caribbean. Well, who is in the Caribbean? Well, we know that the Tainos were in the Caribbean. Well, let's just see something that we got here. This is a letter, you understand, that was written by a conquistador who went and he studied the Indians. And it said, Los Indios de las Indias Islas son Hebreos. This means the Indians of the islands are Hebrews. Well, these are the same islands that they were talking that the sons of Joseph lived on. Well, I'm going to read this translated in English. I'm going to read a couple of things here. It says, it is not improbable that the Jews who were driven from Nineveh by Salamanzar wandered into uninhabited regions. According to Herrera, the Indians cherished that the tradition that the Yucatan had been settled by tribes of the Orient, meaning what? The East. Let's take it a step further. The language, well, since we were talking about Hebrew, the language of the Indians in Hispaniola, Cuba, Jamaica, and the adjoining islands, he contends that it has many resemblances to Hebrew. So now it says, in fact, he calls it a corrupted Hebrew. Why would they call it a corrupted Hebrew? For the same reason they try to say the Lashon Kodash is corrupted, because we weren't speaking a bastardized language. We were speaking the original tongue. Well, let's take it a step further. Their rites and ceremonies, as well as their language from the main arguments, favor this theory of descent that they are the Jews. Circumcision prevailed among the Indians. They often bathed in rivers and streams. They refrained from touching the dead and from tasting blood. They had definite feast days. Marriage with sister-in-laws was permitted if they were childless widows. I don't know if you know, we're talking about law in Deuteronomy and Leviticus right now. They also sacrificed first fruits on high mountains and under shady trees. They had temples and carried a holy ark before them in a time of war. So now, this is Christopher Columbus and the participation of the Jews in Spanish and Portuguese discoveries. Well, that's what one of the conquistadors discovered. Let's take it a step further. This is the 10 Tribes of Israel by Timothy R. Jenkins. Well, since we're talking a little bit about language, I got a couple of things to add. It says the Reverend W.M. Smith, a Presbyterian minister along the Indians, who has finished a translation of the New Testament in the Mohegan language. Now I'm talking about North America. We talked about the Caribbean. We talked about Central America. Let's take it a step further.
Go ahead,
so
brother.
Now, the water, sir.
Preach.
It says, at length it struck me that it was cast in the Hebrew mold. And I made this one, I will show you. It says it was printed on a large sheet, and any Hebrew scholar would recognize the suffixes and affixes of the Hebrew Bible. At the time the writer heard this, Mr. Smith was in Albany superintending the publication of the Mohegan Testament. He tried to translate the New Testament from English into Mohegan, And then because he was a Hebrew scholar, he realized the Mohegans were speaking Hebrew. So now it says several years before that the writer of this article had seen a grammar of the Chilean language. Chile, you understand? We're talking about South America. We're talking about North America. We're talking about the Caribbean islands. We're talking about all the Aborigines, the Indians, Los Indios. You understand? So it says the grammar of the Chilean language and the verb was cast in Hebrew mold. No Hebrew scholar could doubt this. It may be said that Chile is in South America, very true, but let it be remembered on our side that the Hebrew, hold on one second. It said that Hebrew immigrants had been in America 500 years before Christ. And of course, the Mexicans are descendants of the Hebrews. Let it be true that the Chileans are. Ooh, this is a whole group of Indians.
Of the who?
Of the Mexicans.
The Moors?
Oh, no, not the Moors. They said the Hebrews. Let's take it a step further. So now it says the Mohegan language was spoken by all the various tribes of New England. Many of the tribes had a different dialect, but the language was radically the same. Guess what? We speak a little bit of a dialect too. I say Thowata. Captain Mashak is going to say Towata. You understand? Same shit. Let's take it a step further. The language of the Delawares in Pennsylvania, of the Penobats, on Nova Scotia, that's Canada. The Indians in St. Francis, the Shawanese in Ohio, the Chippewas westward of Huron were all radically the same with the Mohegans. So now we're starting to see in Canada, in America, in South America, they're all speaking the same language. You understand? And that's because Moor is like saying you're black. It's like saying you're swarthy. It's like saying dark skin. And that's why earlier you said, well, some of the people in Arabia and they're Moors and Tibet and this and that. Why? Because Arabs could have been Moors. Africans could have been Moors. Just like today they would say Africans are black. Guess what? Here's the thing. The only people that's black is the people who lost their identity. Because Africans have an identity. Well, this was our identity before they started calling us this. It's nothing new. Listen, we knew we were Israelites in the Bible. Guess what they called us in the Bible? Niger in Acts 13:1.
That's right.
You understand? There was Hebrew found everywhere. Matter of fact, right here it says the Hebrew letters engraved in the top rock at Ticonderoga, the sheens found in Georgia, the inscriptions on the shekel are evidence of those that were taken by Shalmaneser in the reign of Hosea. There's non-stop archaeology. How much time I got left? 2 minutes. Well, let's take it a step further. This is the origins of the American Indians. You understand? Well, you know what? I think I got a lot because all this is going to say that this is another writer who accepted the Issachar variation of the 10 lost tribes. You understand? The Yucatans were descendants of...
Can I ask you a question, CHAATAZA? Where's the oldest known 10 Commandments?
Oh, I believe New Mexico. They mentioned New Mexico earlier. You mean the Los Lunas stone?
Los Lunas
oh,
stone.
okay. Yeah, I thought so. You understand? So now it says that Mexicans were originally of the 10 tribes captured by Shalmaneser and the family of Issachar, whom the Indians recognized as their special ancestor. Well, we just went all over. Let's take it a step further. What about Negroes in America?
What about them?
I want all of y'all to take a look at this. This is known as the Judea Capticon. Cap, would you mind putting this in the camera?
I sure will.
Hey, the water, I appreciate
that. In the camera right
you know what Judea Capta means? Judea Capta, let me tell you something. Judea Capta means Jerusalem captured. Well, when was Jerusalem captured? Let's find out. Well, in the year, hold on, General Pompey captured Jerusalem in 70 AD.
Right.
When was that coin minted? Oh, you mean 70 AD?
70 AD.
70 AD, Jerusalem. Wow. Well,
Wow.
let's see something here. Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter. During the period of military governors, that's an archaeological artifact there, of Palestine, many outrageous atrocities were committed. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa. Jews fled into Africa, fleeing Roman persecution and slavery. The slave markets were full of black Jews. Why? Because the people who were brought here on cargo slave ships are not Moors. You know what they are? They are Jews. They are Israelites. Just like the Chileans, just like the Indians of the Yucatan, just like us all over in Puerto Rico, all the Caribbean, from if you want it, from Nova Scotia all the way on down to the bottom of Chile. Science. You understand? Yes. You want to say anything?
How much time we got left?
7 seconds.
The white man is the devil. And with that, so now we've completed the 3 rounds. So now in this forum, we'll take, we'll do a Q&A back and forth. We can ask a question. Of course, you'll answer it, and then you'll have the opportunity to ask us a question, and we go back and forth.